Hey, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do one of the most basic functions of Spectate Marketing, and that is correspond with your leads, with your contacts, to send them text messages, emails, to make phone calls. So very important stuff. So I'm going to start by browsing to one of my contacts. So right here from my dashboard, I'm going to go to a list. And I'm going to go to my training demo list where I will look at my demo lead, who is Susie Homebuyer. Click on her number here to bring up her panel. And you'll see here in the inbox, this is the combined correspondence history that I've had with Susie on all channels, be they SMS, be they a phone call, or be they an email, etc. And of course in green are her responses, which there's only one of at the moment. But you can scroll down here and see all this history. But indeed, at the very bottom of this panel, you can actually manually send any of these three things: an SMS message, a phone call, or an email. So just starting by sending her a text message, I could choose the phone line from which I want to send my text message. So if you had multiple phone lines in here, and I now do, I added a second phone line to this account. But if I wanted to send it from a training demo line, I could specify that here and then type a message in here. Hey Susie, or in this case F name, so that it will substitute in her first name in that field. Or if I didn't want to use the button, I could manually type F name. Just wanted to touch base and see if you had any questions. And I probably should spell wanted correctly. And I can send that right off. And if I minimize this, you'll see now in our correspondence, there it appears at the bottom, and it has substituted her name in there. You can also send an email to Susie. So I could choose a pre-existing email template, which you can learn about in a different video if you have a reusable email that you send over and over and over again. Or you can write one on the fly here just with a subject line, touching base, and your email itself. Thought I'd write to see if you needed any help with anything right now. And I will send that one and minimize the pane. And there, just like with the text message, you can now see that my subject was touching base, and there's the body of my text that appears in there. We can also make a phone call to Susie. So if I hit call, you've got a couple of options here. I can dial straight from the browser, which is what I'm going to do. You could also choose from an IVR, which is an interactive voice response. Basically one of those menu trees. Press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for this. So I will show you in a future video how to create IVRs. But you'd choose the phone line just like before, and you'd choose from among your existing IVRs if you had multiple ones. Just like ringless voicemail and sales bridge, I'll show you those in a future call too. But right now, let's make a browser call to Susie Homebuyer. I'm going to choose the phone line from which I want to dial her. So let's use my demo line, and I'm going to hit call. So right now, here in the browser, it's calling her. And obviously, I'm not going to answer my own phone, so I hung that one up. But when you finish a call, and I should say you can hang up either using this red hang up button up top, or down below there was another hang up button there. But assuming I had a phone conversation, a nice conversation with Susie, when I hang up, you're going to be presented with this disposition dialog where you can learn about dispositions in a different video. I've created one to show you how to create them. But this is a great way of coordinating with other people on your team. So if you were handing off this lead to another person on your team, and you just wanted to keep them in the loop as far as what the next action should be in your sales process, disposition can be really helpful. Even if you're a solo, even if it's on your own, dispositions can be helpful just to keep track for yourself all those different leads. But if I chose as my disposition follow-up next week, I could then put in a note here. So let's say Susie, I spoke with her and she needs to speak with her partners this week. And I'll save that. And now, when I collapse that, you'll see, actually I think I might have to refresh my window. Click back into Susie. There it is. So now when I scroll down to the bottom, you can see the phone call that I made to Susie, along with my disposition note that she needs to speak with her partners this week. And really interestingly, you can see the recording of the phone call itself. Now mine is a 0-minute phone call because I never even picked up on the other end. But had I connected with Susie, as I imaginary phone conversation did, and we spoke for a little while and she told me how she needed to speak to her partners this week, that entire phone conversation will be recorded and you can play it back for yourself right here. So that's a great way to really put some context in place for your team if you are juggling this same lead back and forth. What was that last conversation you had with the lead? Well, why don't you just go back and play the conversation and you can hear it. Another thing that we'll be often doing is scheduling actions, be they phone calls or text messages, etc. So if I hit on the scheduler, you will see that there previously we already did schedule a voice message for her, but I could do so now by determining that what I want to send her is a scheduled text message. And I can choose the phone line from which I'm going to send my text message. If I have saved template SMS messages like this one, I could choose it and it will pre-populate in here with what I wrote. Or if I didn't want to use any template, I could just type one on the fly. But then I'm going to choose the date and time that I want to send this message. I can send it in the future. So let's choose a date that's, a week out. Let's send it in the PM. And let's type in something like, hey Susie, or hey F name, comma, did you get a chance to speak with your partners this week? So before I even forget about the phone conversation and the commitment that Susie made to me that she was going to speak to her partners, right here while it's fresh in my mind, I can schedule an SMS message that's going to go off a week from now at this time and hit send. So now it's going to appear on my calendar that on this date, the 18th, there is a text message scheduled for her. Or I could look at it in list view and see it that way. You can also schedule a phone call with Susie. So I could upload a pre-recorded piece of audio from my desktop, from my computer browser, and just put it in here. Or I could choose from one of my pre-recorded template audio pieces. It's already in the software. I could schedule an outgoing IVR. So when she picks up her phone, she'll hear a recording, say press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for this. A robocall, in other words. I could do a ringless voicemail, a sales bridge, or I could record audio right here in the browser with my widget. Hey Susie, just calling to touch base. I know last week we spoke and you'd said that you needed to speak with your partners. So I thought I'd circle back and see how that conversation went and if you had any further questions I could answer. All right, give me a call back, give me a text, and I look forward to speaking soon. And so there is the audio. Hey Susie, just calling to touch. And now I'm going to choose the phone line that I'm going to send it from. Again, I'll stick with this demo line. Choose the date I want to send it on next week and the time. So roughly the same time that text message is going out to Susie, now an automated recorded voicemail is going to go to Susie. And so now you see both of them on that same day, at the same minute actually. So it's going to be a text message and a call for me at the same time. So Susie's going to know that you mean business. And just like before, you could go to your inbox. Let's say it was the 19th and both of these actions, these events took place and you went back into here to your inbox, you'd be able to scroll down, and those events, once they happen chronologically, would appear in this history, again giving you some context for the next touch point that you have with her. All right, so that's how you send basic messages to people: text messages, phone calls, and email. And we'll show you some even more advanced messages in our next video.